You see a parallel, right, between the creation mandate and the Great Commission.
Yes,
am
I
right?
do. Yeah.
So if you have, if you say all of our work is under the heading of the creation mandate,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's some sort of parallel with the Great Commission given to the church with that creation mandate, then in some way all of our careers, all of our job, all of our work falls under the Great Commission.
Yes.
So there's some way in which we're supposed to think of all work we're doing as divinely appointed subduing of the world for the gospel.
Right. The Christian faith is a 24/7 proposition all the time. So in the Great Commission, when God tells Adam to fill the earth, replenish it, what could be left out of that? I mean, everything is encompassed by that. It covers the waterfront. In the Great Commission, baptize the nations, disciple them, teach them obedience to everything I've commanded you. So if our marching orders are to teach all the nations all the words of Jesus and obedience in everything, and those words include love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. I mean, what's left out? Everything is encompassed by that. Everything is included in that.
Okay. So every career, every calling, it's just another way of saying what you're saying before.
Right. For every Christian, their calling ought to be a lawful calling and therefore employed in the advancement of the kingdom of God and the Great Commission. Okay. Now, if they say, man, but this is a drag, then you have to distinguish between, well, is it a drag because you're earning your bread by the sweat of your brow, like God said it would happen, and you're just complaining, right? Is that why it's a drag? Or is it a drag because you're in the wrong place? You're a square peg in a round hole, right, and you're missing your vocation.
But to back up a little bit, though, if all of our jobs are then falling under the Great Commission, how does that not then simply become we all ought to go into full-time ministry?
Well, because we have interpreted, in evangelical circles, we interpret the Great Commission far too narrowly. We say that it's getting to the person to the point where they pray this prayer.
Right.
Right. So here's the gospel. God is holy. We're sinful. Christ was sent as a bridge to, and then pray this prayer. Well, Paul says in Corinthians, I resolve to know nothing among you except Christ and Him crucified. And I used to think, since all my encounters with that involved sort of a simple gospel presentation, I used to think, and Paul appears to say, that's what we should be doing absolutely all the time. Worldview thinking seemed sort of alien to that. But if you see that Christ and Him crucified is the harmonization of all things, as Paul says in Colossians, the harmonization of all things in heaven and on earth. It's the reconciliation of all things. Man put right with woman. Man put right with his environment. Man put right with his rulers. Man put right with his enemies. That's what is happening in the cross. So if you preach the cross and the ramifications of the cross, then you're going to be talking about the world. You're talking about heaven and earth.
Okay. And you're talking about all careers.
And you're talking about all careers. How does the reconciliation that Christ brought about, how does that relate to architecture? How does the reconciliation relate to law?
Right.